gave you one, Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
I was explaining to Malik earlier that we're not doing the true-false paper with this, and we're not necessarily doing the Google form assignments like we have been with this. We are reading this simply to set us up for what we're doing once we come back from Christmas break. So we're just going to be doing a lot of reading and a lot of discussing over it. The title of this entire magazine is Exploring the Americas. So each day, I'm not kidding. Each day, normally we either do social studies or science. Well, as you can see today, we already did science and now we're doing social studies. So in place of reading, we're going to be doing social studies. We're going to be reading in social studies. Get it? So we're still reading just social studies material instead. So there's that. We're going to see how much we get through today. I also have a brain pop video. I don't know if we're going to have time to watch it or not. I also don't know how to necessarily watch a brain pop video via this. So you know what? We'll find out, okay? But we're starting on page 2 and 3 if you have your magazine. If you don't have your magazine, that's okay. What's up, Rush?
I was gonna say about that brain pop thing. How about you just like stack papers by on front of your computer, play it on your computer, and have the computer that's holding us just put it right there, and we can watch it.
Well, I can share my screen. I just don't know how well
I'm sorry.
I just don't know how well the volume's gonna work. Is all. That's what I'm worried about. But if I can't get the volume to work totally, what? Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. If I can't get the volume to work super well, I'll just post it to Google Classroom and everyone can just watch it whenever, okay? It's like a 4-minute video, so it's not like a big deal or anything. So anyways, it is called The Backstory. Dun, 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 dun. And there's this picture at the top of a globe, and there are some people at the top with crazy names that I can't read, so I'm not going to read them. So, how much would you risk for your country? European explorers were willing to risk everything. So when I say risk everything, what do you think everything entails? John?
Like their life and each other's life.
Their lives, each other's lives, maybe all the money they had, maybe they were risking their family's lives. Risking everything means anything that they own or even their own life they put at risk, meaning something bad could have happened to them or harm, anything upon that nature. They didn't have a lot of information. The journey was always dangerous. What's another word for dangerous? If something's dangerous, it's a what? We learned about this in reading class the other day. If it's
Hazard.
Hazard. Thank you, Gabby. It is a hazard. They could get lost. Storms could wreck their ships. The crew could get sick. Still, their desire to reach the far-off regions of the world was unstoppable. They wanted wealth, fame, and adventure. All right, so the Europeans went exploring, had to face a lot of things. First off, they could get lost. We are not necessarily highlighting, Gabby, unless you would like to highlight, but I am not highlighting today. So they could get lost because I'm going to tell you, they didn't have any GPSs on these boats, did they? No. So they knew north, south, east, and west, and that's the directions they went. Storms. Did they have a satellite letting them know when a tropical storm was coming in? No. It was, hey, guess what? A storm is coming and that a storm hit them. They had no way of knowing how severe it was going to be or when exactly it would hit like we do today. We have all the technology that lets us know how bad a storm's going to be. Yes, Malik.
Since you said they don't have like a GPS, I think they had like a compass.
Yeah, so they had something like that would be like a compass that would show them north, south, east, and west. But that's all that it would tell them. It wouldn't tell them, oh, you're going north towards, it wasn't like a map or anything. It would just be that specific compass. And they could also get sick. If you got sick on a ship while exploring, guess what? There's no doctors to go to. Even if there was doctors to go to, it's not like there's modern medicine today. So, but they didn't care about all those risks, about getting lost or their ship being wrecked or getting sick. They wanted to explore. They wanted wealth, they wanted fame from being the one exploring, and of course they wanted the adventure of exploring, because I'm going to tell you, being on a ship in the middle of an ocean trying to find some land would probably be an adventure, right? Yeah. They were also looking to bring glory to their country and themselves. Their journeys were often paid for or sponsored by monarchs seeking new trade routes, more natural resources, and new territory around the world. Many Europeans also wanted to spread Christianity. They saw it as their sacred duty. All right. So the people that were exploring were often being paid to do so. Like, you know, they want the wealth and the fame. Were being paid to do so by monarchs. And those are people that are higher up in the, like, I don't want to say food chain, that's the wrong word, but higher up in the royal system. You know, they weren't like peasants. They were higher up. They were the ones that had the money and stuff. So they wanted new trade routes, or they wanted more natural resources. Like they wanted to be able to find, you know, more coal or whatever they were doing or whatever they wanted. So they paid people, or, you know, paid for the ships and paid for the supplies to get people out to find all the things they wanted, and also to spread Christianity. So that was their religion. All right, friends, we're having science. We're not talking about how we're doing right now, okay? That would have been before science started. So let's focus. So they also wanted to spread their religion, and they thought it was like, oh, something they had to do. So they had to get out and tell other people of the world about their religion. So all different reasons why they decided to, or all these different reasons Europeans went exploring. For these reasons, explorers after explorers set sail from the mid-16th to the mid-15th to mid-16th century. This was the beginning of the Age of Discovery, a time that changed the course of human history forever. It was probably called the Age of Discovery. Why? Why do you think it was called the Age of Discovery, Mr. John?
Because that's when they discovered like North America and all that.
Right, that's when a ton of things were discovered. And now, if you're looking at this giant picture, this looks like a big old messy map, kind of, right? So someone, way back when, actually had to physically draw this. It's not like they had pictures to make maps. They didn't have computers to make maps. Like some human actually had to create this. So that would take a lot of work and a lot of work. And this is what they thought they had. You know, this is what they thought the globe would bring. So according to their map, everything is currently connected. If you can see, every single continent is connected, where not every continent is connected today. If you know that, like, we're 7 continents, but we're not all connected. But according to their map from whenever it was made, I'm not sure about this date, every single continent's connected. So now, trade and travel over hundreds of years had provided Europeans with some information about the rest of the world. So by traveling and trading with other people, they were able to gather some information. But obviously, they wanted more if they were willing to go and explore. However, much of what they knew was limited by geography and based on stories or rumors. They could not yet cross large oceans. So they knew nothing of the countries that lay on the other side of the world. So Europeans were able to trade with people, and they heard about different places, and, you know, they assumed what was there, but they hadn't ever actually been somewhere else. They hadn't actually gotten across the large ocean like the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean. So, the Silk Road. The Silk Road was a collection of trade routes that linked the markets of China and India with those of the Middle East and Europe. Goods changed hand many times along the route. That if something changes hands, that means it goes from this person to this person to this person to this person, and so on, okay? It's changing hands, like my hands to your hands, from one merchant to another. In 1453, which that was like 600 years ago, however, the Ottoman Empire stopped all trade with the West. That cut off European access to the routes. Without the land route, Europeans looked to the sea. So the Ottoman Empire was like, you know what? No more trading with the West. I don't care about Europe cutting them off. So Europe had no way to trade with other people. Well, if they don't have any land to go and trade, they needed another way. So if I can't go by land, my only other option is Water, sea. So they had to form a new route. They couldn't go through land routes, so they had to come up with a way to go through water. So sea, essentially. Here's this little side note. It says one of the most famous travelers of the Silk Road was an Italian merchant, Marco Polo. The records of Polo's travelers became a bestseller across Europe in an age before the printing press. So that means he had to like physically write them all by hand. That takes a lot of work. Polo's description of land and riches and incredible wonders of the Far East captured the imagination of many Europeans. Some explorers set sail with copies of Polo's book on board their ship. So Marco Polo was a merchant. That means he sold things, and he, before the printing press, made a book that people really wanted to read because they liked what it described. All right, let me see if I can get this video and see how it'll work. I'm going to pause my audio here, and I'm going to open the audio on my other computer, and we will see if we can get this video to... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll see if we can get this video to play. If it doesn't work, like I said, I'll post it. It's not a big deal. If we can't get it to work, where is... Oh, here's my Google Meet.
What's up?
Hi, Rush.
How you doing?
Fabulous.
How you doing, Mace?
So if we go back, in 1435 is when the Ottoman Empire cut off. So the Silk Road was before 1435 or 1453. So it was in like the 1400s is when the Silk Road was a thing. Okay. And 1453 is when they were cut off and then they turned to sea. So the Silk Road happened before that. All right. So I'm going to stop my audio here and I'm going to play my above audio in hopes that we can actually hear it. Okay. Okay. So let's get.
Giddy up! You won't go. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. I'm thirsty, and there's sand and everything I own. This is the last time I let you plan our vacation. Dear Tim and Moby, can you tell me about the Silk Road? Thanks, Sunny. Sure, Moby and I are lost somewhere on it right now. Of course, Silk Road is kind of a misleading term. It wasn't a single road, but a network of ancient trading routes connecting East Asia to the Mediterranean. There was even a maritime Silk Road covering the same area by sea. And it wasn't just about silk. Spices, precious metals, art, and pretty much anything else of value were traded on these routes. Over land, the Silk Road covered more than 6,000 kilometers and brought together cultures that had never interacted before. Very old, some sections of the road date back more than 5,000 years. These were mainly shorter trading routes that developed between neighboring tribes. Over time, powerful empires filled the gaps between these unrelated roads. In the 4th century BCE, the Greek conqueror Alexander the Great pushed east into Central Asia. About 200 years later, China's Han Dynasty expanded its influence westward. Chinese merchants exported silk to the new territories. Yeah, that's why we call it the Silk Road now. Nobody back then referred to it that way. Anyway, by the 1st century BCE, the silk routes were stable enough for goods to travel from China all the way to Europe. Around this time, silk made a huge splash in Rome. Fashionable Romans couldn't get enough of the luxurious new material. Meanwhile, all kinds of Western goods, from glass to gold to garlic, began arriving in China. No, merchants didn't travel all the way from Rome to China or vice versa. That's thousands of kilometers over some of the harshest mountain and desert terrain on the planet. On top of these natural dangers, bandits were everywhere, waiting to steal, kidnap, and even worse. In fact, parts of the Great Wall of China were built to protect Silk Road traders. To stay safe, they traveled in caravans, groups of traders going in the same direction. Camels were the pack animal of choice because they could withstand extreme heat and cold and go a long time without water. All along the Silk Road, traders would stop and rest at oases, areas with water and vegetation. Many of these stops grew into trading centers and even major cities. Merchants would travel back and forth between cities, loaded with goods each way. Well, for instance, you might haul Indian spices from Bactra to Merv. In Merv, you'd sell your spices and buy, say, jewelry from a gold merchant. Another trader might take your spice farther west, and you'd take the gold back east. This way, goods could move down the Silk Road, city to city, trader to trader, across entire continents. Merchants and other travelers exchanged customs and ideas, too. Greek math and philosophy found their way into Asia. Buddhist monks spread their beliefs north and east from India. And the religion of Islam moved east and west out of the Arabian Peninsula. Well, there had to be peace and stability for everything to work properly, so over the centuries, a network of empires provided security. The gigantic Mongol Empire was the last to keep the overland route safe, but it began to fall apart around 1300. That wasn't a huge deal. The sea routes were able to pick up the slack. But starting in the 15th century, European explorers began finding direct paths to Asia that were safer and cheaper. These new routes made the Silk Road pretty much obsolete. Oh yeah, it was much more than just a trade route. The Silk Road began a cultural exchange on a level that had never been seen before. In fact, some historians call it the first example of globalization. Great, our camels ran away. Now we've really had it. A caravan coming this way? We're saved! Not exactly. Much more. European Empire was the last to keep the...
All right, did you guys hear that? You guys heard the video?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking. So before I end for today, we'll finish up reading this little section tomorrow. I just want to point out all these little dots. Like they said, it's not like someone started... Well, Mason, you never finished NWEA, so I don't know. You have to start NWEA to finish it, buddy. No one is... Okay, when you do finish it, I'll give you other things to do, Mason, but you haven't finished it. So no one started at this end of the Silk Road and went to the other end of the Silk Road. That's not how it worked. It was, this person started here and met this person, and this person traveled between this distance and this distance. So all these little dots are showing us like these would be two different people stops trading, and then this person would trade with this person, and that person would trade with that person. No one was traveling the whole distance. So something all the way over here could end up all the way over there through trade routes. But it's not like one person was traveling the whole difference. So the Silk Road actually let people exchange things and meet one another from all over, not all over the globe, but a big, large chunk of the globe until it became kind of obsolete, which obsolete means just no longer necessary, no longer a thing, when Europe started finding other safer routes. All right, we are about out of time today because our pickups have to pack up. If you're a pickup, I need you to pack up. Tomorrow, if you are at home, just like this morning, I will send you an email telling you exactly what you need to get done today. Okay? Well, tomorrow. We will have science tomorrow. We will have social studies tomorrow. Remember, social studies is going to be in lieu of reading. I will send you everything you need to do. If you have any questions between now and then, feel free to let me know. If you still haven't finished your NWEA, you might want to do that. Mr. Rush, do you have a question?
I'm Jeff.
Okay. All right, friends. This will be posted in case you have a question. Malik, what's up?
So do you want to put our magazines in bags so and put it in the office so we can pick it up?
Is your sister at school?
No.
No. Would you like me to do that? I mean, every day I'm going to be displaying it, so it's not a big deal if you do not have it.
I would like to have it just in case.
Okay, I will put a name on yours and throw it in the office. Mason, you already have one in the office along with your Reading RTI book. Madeline, I gave your mom one. Gabby, I gave Lincoln one. Malik, B-L-A-I-S-O. I'll have it in the office when Claire leaves. She'll throw it in the office for you, okay? So long, friends. Have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow. After I leave, I'm going to start NWA. Okay. I'll be on the lookout for it, Mason. Bye.